Let us bow our heads in prayer. Almighty and everlasting God, we praise you this day, for you are the protector of all things good in this world. We give you thanks this day for our outgoing Chief, Neil Fertelman, and his many years of service and dedication to our community. We ask that you bless our incoming Chief of Police, Scott Scramese. We pray that you will grant him wisdom and understanding as he faces the challenges and demands that lie ahead. We ask that you bless all of our police officers and that you would protect them from harm in their performance of their duty to stop crime and violence. Give them patience when it is needed, as well as the strength and the ability to overcome those who seek to harm the weak and defenseless. May all of our officers return from their shifts in the same good health as when they entered into it. Unite them safely with their families after their daily duty has ended. And may they be given the wisdom to perform their duties to the utmost of their abilities. And may they serve our community with the standards of this police force: integrity, empathy, cooperation, excellence, and justice. We pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. First off, again, I want to welcome everyone. You know, today it's kind of a mixture. We have two that are, I can't say leaving the family, but they're moving on to other parts of their career or other interests in their life. And then we have others that are moving up in the organization, you know, taking on more responsibilities. And then we have others like Scott that they've reached the summit. So he's now going to head up the organization. He's going to lead us for the next X number of years. I do want to acknowledge some of the people. When we look around, this is a great turnout. It's a turnout that shows that we're part of the community. The community really is the police department. And when I look here, we not only have peers, we have council members, we have city administrators, we have judges, and then we have our retired officers, which pretty much shows you the foundation and the family that we try to create in our organization. You know, I look around and I see officers that we had here 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I want to thank everyone for coming. It's very important to everybody's lives that are here today, and I appreciate it. Judge Robin Piper, I thank you for coming. He's going to be doing the swearing-in ceremonies, so I appreciate that. So Chief Fertelman, if you'll please come up. Congratulations. First off, we're going to read the departmental proclamation to Chief Fertelman. This one's rather lengthy, and for good reason. I mean, Neil's been with us for 36 years. Started in 1976 as a cadet, and he's been through 36 years, which is quite incredible. And I really do thank you for myself, the organization, the community, for your dedicated, selfless service to us all.
Thank you, Joe.
I think when I read this, you all pretty much, it'll probably good summation of all the things that Chief Fertelman has done for us and the community. You ready? Whereas Chief Neil R. Fertelman was appointed as a cadet on January 3rd, 1976, promoted to police officer on June 27th, 1977, promoted to detective on January 28th, 1989, promoted to sergeant on December 12th, 1992, promoted to lieutenant on August 17th, 1996, and promoted to chief on September 14th, 1998, and served in that capacity until his retirement on March the 2nd, 2012. And whereas Chief Neil R. Fertelman, while employed with the City of Hamilton Police Department, served in the following positions: cadet, patrol officer, traffic officer, planning officer, detective, public affairs supervisor, management information supervisor, patrol supervisor, staff service commander, and chief of police. And whereas Chief Neil R. Fertelman, during his career with the Hamilton Police Department, was a veteran assessor for 204 years. I think, man, that really dates us both.
I only made it 200.
All right, who typed this down? I'll blame it on Steve, too. For 20 plus years, and team leader for the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, served as the vice chair and chair on the Butler County Criminal Justice Board, the president of the Butler County, Ohio Chiefs of Police, and a charter member of the State of Ohio Accreditation Resource. And whereas Chief Neil R. Fertelman has been responsible for many departmental improvements. As a cadet on his own time, he developed a radio operator's information book. He created the General Orders Manual that is in use today. You like following that, don't you, Dave? As accreditation manager, he led the department in becoming an accredited agency and will remain so today. He coordinated the installation of the first department-wide computer system and directed the planning, installation, and implementation of the 911 Communication Center. And whereas Chief Neil R. Fertelman's dedication work, the department and the city in his generous sharing of knowledge and beyond reproach. During his career with the Hamilton Police Department, he has received numerous letters and awards of commendation from city officials, co-workers, schools, citizens, other police departments, first-time assessors, and police agencies he has visited as an assessor, recognizing his diplomacy, professionalism, and kindness. And whereas Chief Neil R. Fertelman is respected and well-liked by his co-workers, city officials, and the citizenry of the city of Hamilton. And whereas it gives me great pleasure to present this proclamation to Chief Neil R. Fertelman for his devotion and dedication during his tenure as a member of the Hamilton Police Department. As you can see, that's quite lengthy, and Neil is, in his 36-year career, really has done a tremendous amount of work. So I thank you for that, and so does the organization.
Thank you, Joe.
The mayor has a proclamation and another special.
Thanks, Joe. Congratulations to all the retirees and those promoted to today. We just left an FOPA recognition luncheon at Riverbank Cafe, hosted by Tim Spoonster of the FOPA. So you're going to probably tell me to shut up sometime today, Chief. I'll tell you that right now. But I want to say that, Chief Fertelman, you have been so professional throughout your entire career, so responsive to all of the needs of the city and those in the city administration. And as I mentioned at the luncheon and at the accreditation hearing, in my mind, your hallmark is you're a community-oriented chief. And that's been how I think you've handled your career through all 36 years. I do have a certificate here. Let it be known that this certificate of recognition was presented to Neil R. Fertelman in grateful appreciation for 36-plus years of service from January 3rd, 1976 to March 2nd, 2012 with the city of Hamilton, signed by myself and the city manager, Joshua Smith. So we give that to you, and thank you for your years of service.
Thank you, Mayor.
We're not done yet. You are truly a native son of Hamilton, Ohio. You were born in Hamilton, raised in Hamilton, went to Hamilton schools. I think your children went to Hamilton schools, and you remained in Hamilton, Ohio. And that means a lot to be a native son and accomplish so very much for your city as a professional, as a police chief. And it got to be a no-brainer when all of council said, we got to do something even more special for Police Chief Fertelman. I know we have Councilmember Kathy Klink here, Councilmember Robert Brown is here, I believe Vice Mayor Fear might be here, but as a native son, you deserve a key to the city, and we're going to give you a key to the city for being one of our favorite native sons.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody can hold this for me, I'll get that. It says Chief Neil Fertelman, March 2nd, 2012, a key to the city of Hamilton, Ohio. And you earned it for everything that you have done for us for 36 years. So thank you, Chief Fertelman, for being a friend to all of us in Hamilton.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next up is Brian Robinson, the FOP president. Brian?
And right before we get into this, I'd like to make just a couple, say a couple little words here. It's been an honor to work with Chief Fertelman over the years. He became chief actually right before I became president down here. So over the last 13 years, his entire career as the chief, I've got to work with him that entire time. We've done a lot. We've had a lot. We've sat across from the table, haven't always agreed on things, and a lot of times we have agreed on things. But I've always looked up to the chief. He's always given me some sound advice over the years. I truly appreciate the time that I've had been able to spend with him. Looking forward to our new incoming chief, also Scott Scramese, when he comes in. Spent a lot of time with him. And I think it's also noteworthy to say that both of these gentlemen here have also served as been prior FOP executive board members down here too. So it's a very special moment. I also like to thank the chief for weathering out the storms over the last few years, over the unprecedented attacks that all of our public servants have seen in the last year and a half. And there have been a lot of negative articles out there, been a lot of negative comments made, not just about the police department, public servants overall, our fire department, and all other public servants. And I just wish people would stop and think, look around this room. When you're attacking a police department or a fire department or any public servant, or you're trying to call out just one person, one of those public servants, and make some negative connotations to them, either in the media, in print media, or as a politician speaking before you think, it's just not these people that you're attacking. It's everybody in this room that you're attacking. It's their family, it's their spouses, it's their children. And I hope from here on out, people would stop and think about what they say first, and then after they talk and get the facts on stuff. Scott Scramizzi's got a heck of a job coming up in front of him, battles that are coming up. We wish him all the luck, and I think there's a lot of people that are envious that they're being able to retire during these times and ages. So, move forward. That's just my little tidbit there. The chief has taught me that a little. So. What we do with all of our retirees, you probably have seen it if you've been to any of these before, but we like to honor them with a retirement certificate. They get a retirement FOP, Fraternal Order Police Badge, and a retirement Fraternal Order of Police card. It says it's a retired member card. They receive all the honors as regular members, but they go into a retired status, and it's sort of like an honorary status for them. So the retirement certificate will read, from the Fraternal Order of Police, be it known by those present that Neil R. Fertelman has retired after having served 36 years in the Hamilton Police Department, and be it further known that his fellow members of Hamilton Lodge Number 38 wish him many years of happiness and a long life to enjoy his retirement. The second day of March, 2012. And present you with your certificate.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Also with your pen
Thank you.
and your retirement card.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Chief.
Thank you, President Robinson. This next presenter, I think, speaks volumes really about Neil in general, because the University of Cincinnati called, and for their criminal justice board, they wanted to send someone to present him with a plaque. And I graduated from the University of Kentucky, and I'll guarantee you they're not looking for me to bestow any honors. I mean, so this one I'm not sure I understand. We must have had a completely different college experience, but anyway, Jim Stevers, will you please come up here and present the award?
There are two kinds of police chiefs. There are police chiefs that sit behind the desk and push the paper. And then there are police chiefs that reach out, promote the police department, link up with external constituencies. And Neil Fertelman is the latter. Neil has been a leader in the law enforcement community and the field of higher education, particularly criminal justice. And there are numerous people in this room who are far more qualified to speak of Neil's leadership in the field of law enforcement. But I know well Neil's contribution to the field of higher education and criminal justice. I had a long list of things that I was going to say, and Captain Murray said, Jim, I know you're a college professor and you can speak all afternoon, but we have a long ceremony here. And I begged and I pleaded, and I said, I've got this long list, and Neil has done so much, and he said, I'm sorry, you've got to compress it into something that's short. And so I thought about it, and ran this by my wife, and she didn't have any good ideas. And so finally I seized on something that I think may do the trick. This is a copy of a letter that is attached to your plaque, Neil, but I focused in particular on a paragraph written by Dean Lawrence Johnson in his congratulatory letter to Neil. And I'll just read you the third paragraph of that. It says, "I invite you to come back to your alma mater, the School of Criminal Justice and the College of Education, and meet with me, Dr. Ed Latessa, that I know you know, and the faculty and the students. I am certain that we could all learn and benefit from your wisdom and experience. I will have Mary Ellen Mylar, who works for me, contact you shortly to explore the idea of you visiting campus and to make a presentation to faculty and students." And then the most important line is, "I will also host you for a lunch and a campus tour as well." Now, for those of you who know Lawrence Johnson, he is a gourmet cook, and the lunches are something to truly die for. So I would definitely recommend the lunch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stevers. Next up is Captain Palaminos, and he is going to present the retirement badge and the much-needed check.
Actually, we always save the best for last. And I don't mean me, I mean the check. So this is Neil, you get a retirement badge from us, and it gives me great pleasure to present you with that. Also, there's a couple of checks here that I think you'd be very interested in.
Okay.
And I wish you congratulations and best luck in your retirement. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present you recently retired Police Chief Neil R. Fertelman.
You know, I've conducted so many of these retirement ceremonies, and my turn has finally come around after 36 years. The good thing for all of you is that with experience comes the wisdom of knowing how long to talk, so I'll talk no longer than a few minutes and then sit down. I have seen some very tremendous changes in those 36 years and improvements in every corner. I've spent the last third of my career as the police chief, and I've had the time just in the last month or so to think about that service. When you're in it, and Scott will soon find this out, there's really no time for reflection. There's long hours, big projects, political situations, major crimes, and often very difficult decisions. There's such a flurry of activity, it's difficult to appreciate the progress and the changes. And I've since thought about the highs and the lows. The high, the caliber of the personnel that we have been able to hire. By changing the hiring process to measure character, we have hired honest men and women of integrity. No process is perfect, and there were some that didn't meet our standards. But by far, the reputation of excellence owned by this department is extremely well earned. All of you have adapted to the mission and values that we adopted a dozen years ago, and your daily work reflects our mission of extraordinary customer service and our #1 core value of empathy. As you know, in those rare instances where this has not been the case, you've probably heard about it. And in the more prevalent occasions where those values have been practiced perfectly, you've heard about it as well. The low, for me, was being required to lay off 14 employees due to the poor economy. They have all been missed, and their loss reduced the quality of our organization. When I became chief, we had 138 employees. Through the support of our citizens in this great city, we passed a police levy and added officers and other employees and eventually reached a total complement of 174. At the end of the day today, reductions due to the economy have taken us back down, and we will stand at 142. Can you imagine the size of the force today if we had stayed at the level from 14 years ago? Your new chief's priority will be to ensure that the size of this department does not shrink to the size where we cannot protect our citizens or ourselves. There have been changes and continuous improvement, and plenty of thanks to go around. Hamilton Police Headquarters, which looks so much different than it did a dozen years ago, due to the projects overseen by Captains Joe Murray and Steve Palaminos. Continued diligence and excellence clearance rates for homicides and other major crimes due to the work of the investigations and vice sections and their supervision. They consistently rally when bad things happen, and more often than not, the bad guys are apprehended, convicted, and they go to jail. Increased responsibilities assumed across the board by our Administrative Bureau, which was decimated by layoffs and attrition. Its leaders and employees have worked in some cases with half the staff while confronting a stable or increasing workload, and each of them should be commended for their continued diligence. Keeping traffic and community-oriented policing activities alive while our organization shrunk, with most of the officer attrition there. We won over problem neighborhoods due to some excellent and innovative efforts and some hard work. And finally, and most importantly, day after day, night after night, this city has been covered, patrolled, and kept safe by heroes who every day face danger and often weapons, abuse, and even pure downright evil. They continue to do an outstanding job even as their resources shrink. I thank you for your dedication, and I thank you all. I came here 36 years ago as a 19-year-old kid, not even out of college. I've grown old here, but I've been pleased and gratified by what I have seen and by what I leave behind. Your new leadership is skilled, bright, and exceptionally well-trained. Your new chief and his command staff are ready for the tough challenges ahead. They will do well in very difficult circumstances. You should continue to support them and support each other. It has been my pleasure and honor to work with each and every one of you, and may God bless you and keep you, and be with you every day and on every call. Thank you.
One thing to be said about Neil, he's been off pretty much on vacation, except for maybe a week or two since November. In hell, I had to say hell, Neil, because you always wonder why I never say it. But all the way up until yesterday, or today I should say, I'm still getting emails from him, directed to do something. So today I think is the first day that I didn't get an email from him. They probably turned your computer off.
They turned it off.
I knew something was up. Well, again, thank you very much for your service. Sergeant Richardson, please come on up. This is our second retiree today, Sergeant Sherry Richardson. Again, much service to the citizens. Been here for 28 years?
30.
I'm going to read it here in a minute, so I'll know, but thank you very much. I'm going to read her proclamation, and again, it probably sums up the life and times of Sherry on the police department, but some of us have seen the different aspects and the different lives she's really affected. You're throwing me off now. I had enough trouble last time. Whereas Sergeant Sherry A. Richardson was appointed as a police officer on August 7, 1981, promoted to detective on March 21, 1998, and promoted to sergeant on May 6, 2000, and served in that capacity until her retirement on March 2, 2012. And whereas Sergeant Sherry A. Richardson, while employed with the City of Hamilton Police Department, served in the following positions: patrol officer, desk officer, court officer, radio operator, public affairs officer, detective in investigations, cop supervisor, and patrol supervisor. And whereas Sergeant Sherry A. Richardson, during her career with the Hamilton Police Department, served as a Hamilton Police Department representative for the Weed and Seed Grants and led the SWAT team hostage negotiations team. And whereas Sergeant Sherry A. Richardson, through hard work, diligence, and dedication, has developed an extensive network of resources and a high level of skill in interview and interrogations. She was able to obtain crucial information that led to the recovery of a homicide victim, which in turn led to the arrest of the suspect. Sergeant Richardson diligently worked a 13-year-old unsolved homicide case and cleared the case by arrest. Whereas Sergeant Sherry A. Richardson is a courteous and loyal employee, she has been accredited with the apprehension of numerous felony suspects during her career with the Hamilton Police Department. She has also received many letters of commendation for her professionalism and exemplary police work, and whereas Sherry A. Richardson is respected and well-liked by her co-workers, city officials, and the citizenry of the City of Hamilton. and whereas it gives me great pleasure to present this proclamation to Sergeant Sherry A. Richardson for her devotion and dedication during her tenure as a member of the Hamilton Police Department. Congratulations, Sherry.
Thank you.
Mayor Moeller,
We're not losing just one law enforcement professional, we're losing two law enforcement professionals. And Sherry was no BS. She was a true professional, and I enjoyed working with you when I worked in the prosecutor's office. So it's kind of sad that I got to read one more of these today. Let it be known that this certificate of recognition was presented to Sherry A. Richardson in grateful appreciation for 30 years plus of service from August 7th, 1981 to March 2nd, 2012 with the city of Hamilton, signed by myself as mayor and Joshua Smith as the city manager. And the size of this crowd is indicative of the respect that this community has for both you and Chief Fertelman. So thank you very much for your service. Thank you very, very much.
FOP President Brian Robinson.
As Mayor Moeller said, we're losing two very good officers, members of this police department. I want to thank both of you for your service. Thank you, Sherry, for all the sacrifice you made, and thank your family for the sacrifices. Something that a lot of people don't understand is our family sacrifice as much as we do. So thank you and your family. Fraternal Order of Police Retirement Certificate, be it known by those present that Sherry Richardson has retired after having served 30 years in the Hamilton Police Department, and be it further known that her fellow members of Hamilton Lodge Number 38 wish her many years of happiness, a long life to enjoy her retirement on the second day of March 2012. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Captain Plaminos, if you would, present Sergeant Richardson's retirement check, and our retirement badges are on order. We haven't forgot you, but they are on order, so you get new shiny ones.
Okay, Sherry. Sherry, it gives me great honor and privilege to present you with a check from the city and your coworkers. And congratulations and best of luck in retirement. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you all may know, Sherry is my only daughter. One of the first instances of, I'm a retired captain from the fire department. First case that Sherry had come out on was a killing on South 4th Street. McNally says to the men around there, says, let's don't clear this up. Says, I got a young rookie on the force that I want her to see this. And I says to him, so I says, Chief, you don't worry about that, 'cause she's done seen more than most people. Thank you.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present you recently retired Police Sergeant Sherry Richardson.
I think the best part that sums it up is my granddaughter went to preschool last year. She's a big kindergartner this year. And a police officer came into her class and was talking to the kids in the preschool class, and she said, my Mimi is a police officer. And they said, really? Well, what's her name? She said, Mimi. And they said, but she has another name. It should be Officer. And she said, Officer Mimi. So now I'm just Mimi, which makes me very happy. I want to thank everyone. I've had a great career.
We're going to go on now with those rising up in the organization. And again, like I said, you got Scott Scramese is now at the summit. He's a leader. He's poised to take this leadership role on. I think he's probably was ready 5 years ago. He's just one heck of an officer, and he's ready to meet any new challenges. So, Scott, please come on up. Judge Robin Piper, thank you very much.
You know, before I do this, I think I want to say something. You know, after all, I am an attorney. First of all, would all the retired guys please stand up just for a second? All the retired guys. I think some of the younger people don't realize who some of the older people are, and I just wanted to stand up. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I also wanted to say to Chief Fertelman that I apologize because when I heard you retired, I wanted to send you a letter, and I got bogged down in my own work, and I never did that. But I was always jealous of your speaking abilities. I was always jealous of your administrative abilities. And when I heard you talk today, I realized what I'm really jealous about is you're just a class act. It's been great working with you. Thank you, sir. With that, I would like, go ahead, that's good, that's all right. It's like running one of those big atomic ships. There's several systems. There's personnel, there's budget, there's fighting the crime, investigations, there's community outreach. There are so many systems combined in one for a police chief to deal with. And Chief Fertelman, you did a great job, and we have great expectations in the future as well. With that, what I'd like to say before I swear in Scott, I do want to say that the other two people who were candidates for this that took the test are also leaders and are also great men. But what really makes Scott, in my opinion, the best qualified person for this job, and the reason I'm so proud he's up here today, is really not the fact that he's at the top of the list for the scores on his test. Really, what I'm proud of is that he's at the top of the list when I think of people who are committed to their work, committed to law enforcement, committed to professionalism. Scott is at the top of my list. God forbid anything ever happened to any member of my family, but if something did, and I was able to choose the person in charge of the investigation, Scott would be at the top of my list. When I think of a man who maintains character woven into his fiber, character a part of his very being, not just for show, not just for the job, but true character, Scott would be at the top of my list. Now, for those of you, most of you in this room know Scott, and you know that he's blunt, he tells it like it is, but I'll tell you he's extremely truthful. And for those city leaders who are in here today, listen to him because he's got a lot to offer. So with that being said, having set the bar pretty high, I think, are you ready to do this? Okay, you raise your right hand for us. I, Joseph Scott Scramese, do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio, and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Hamilton, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Chief of Police to the best of my ability, so help me God. May the bad guys be warned and the good guys be protected.
Hamilton Police Department certification of promotion. Know all persons by these presents that J. Scott Scramese is promoted through the classification of Chief of Police in the Hamilton Police Department and is charged with the duties, responsibilities, and authority incumbent with this rank. This promotion is officially registered in the records of the Hamilton Police Department effective March 3rd, 2012. Scott, here's your new badge. It gives me great pleasure and an honor to present that. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Trust me, I'm not forgetting him. He's not going to give a speech now because now I have to work for him. So he's really going to start bossing me around. But anyway, we're going to let Scott do his speech in a little bit. We're going to have some of the other ones sworn in. So if we can start off with Carl Sigmund.
I, Carl Sigmund,
I, Carl Sigmund,
solemnly swear that
solemnly swear that
I will support the Constitution and laws
I will support the Constitution and laws
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Hamilton,
of the City of Hamilton,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Lieutenant
of Lieutenant
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God. Thank you.
Chief Scramese, if you will present badges and read the certificate to Lieutenant Carl Sigmund.
This certificate, Carl's certificate of promotion. By all person this presents, Carl Sigmund is promoted to the classification of lieutenant in the Hamilton Police Department, charged with the duties, responsibilities, and authority incumbent with this rank. This promotion is officially registered in the records of the Hamilton Police Department effective March 3rd, 2012. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Lieutenant Carl Sigmund.
I just want to first say that I want to thank God for everything that He's done for me in my life. And I want to thank my family for all the support that they've given me. And I also want to say that I'm prepared to accept the challenges of the position that I'm about to accept, and I'm going to do everything that I can to successfully carry out those duties and to make the Hamilton Police Department as good of a department as I can. Thank you.
Sergeant Davy Collins. Dave, if you'll bring your family up.
Sure. I, David Collins,
I, David Collins,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States,
and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Hamilton,
of the City of Hamilton,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Sergeant
of Sergeant
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability. So,
Congratulations.
This certificate of promotion for David S. Collins is promoted to the classification of sergeant in the Hamilton Police Department, is charged with the duties, responsibilities, and authority incumbent with this rank. This promotion is officially registered in the records of the Hamilton Police Department effective March 3rd, 2012. Congratulations, David.
I present you Sergeant David Collins.
First of all, thank you all for coming. I want to congratulate everybody collectively on their retirements and promotions. As far as I go in my promotion, I will have to admit I had some reservations about pursuing the promotion. So in the end, I just prayed about it, and as I stand here now, I couldn't be happier. So I want to thank the Lord Jesus for answering prayer and taking care of me. Thank my wife, Christy, for her support. I thank her for marrying me. I want to thank my parents for raising me right, telling me no. Most of you may not know, but my father retired here as a sergeant. His badge number was 314. I'm honored to use that number for my next few years. Thank you.
I don't know, depends on how observant some of you are out in the audience. There's a little subtle nuance here a little bit ago. Every time that Steve and I do the proclamations, one of us has to hold it and the other has to read, and we still half goof it up. When I tried to hold the chiefs, he just said, yeah, I'm going to do it on his own. So not only is he multitasking, but apparently it's what Neil's always said. 2 captains equal 1 chief. So I guess, I mean, I hate self-deprecation, but anyway, Sergeant Joey Thompson.
I, Joseph Thompson,
I, Joseph Thompson,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the State of Ohio
of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Hamilton,
of the City of Hamilton.
and that I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Sergeant
of Sergeant
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joey, this certificate of promotion for Joseph M. Thompson is promoted to the classification of sergeant in the Hamilton Police Department and is charged with the duties, responsibilities, and authority incumbent with this rank. This promotion is officially registered in the records of the Hamilton Police Department effective March 3rd, 2012. Congratulations, Joey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Sergeant Joseph Thompson.
Well, my wife asked me if I had anything prepared, and I don't. I want to start off by thanking my family, my mom and dad, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and my boys for being patient with me while I studied. It was kind of unprecedented for me because I admitted that I was studying. Not a lot of people do that, but I'll tell a quick story about, for those of you who don't know, I've been in Vice for about 10 and a half years doing undercover buys. And when I was up in Middletown doing buys for them, and they were listening to The Wire, they just raved about how great a job I was doing. Acting like, man, you do a great job coming off like a dumb hillbilly. And I had too much pride to tell them I wasn't acting. So when I was studying, and I was going for my family a lot, but they were very patient, and it paid off, so thanks.
Next up, Matthew Fishwick, Detective.
I, Matthew Fishwick,
I, Matthew Fishwick,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the State of Ohio
of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Hamilton,
of the City of Hamilton,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of detective
of detective
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Matt, this certificate of promotion is to Matthew S. Fishwick. He's promoted to the classification of detective in the Hamilton Police Department, charged with the duties and responsibilities and authority incumbent with this rank. This promotion is officially registered in the records of the Hamilton Police Department effective March 3rd, 2012. Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you. Geez, so much has already been said, I really don't know what to say. Just thanks to my family, my wife, for watching kids so I can study. Especially thanks, shout out to all the guys on the She Shift for making work such an enjoyable experience. I appreciate it, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Congratulations. We have so much support from this community. We could never say thanks enough. And again, I'm glad that Judge Piper acknowledged all the retirees. You deserve more than anything. You're the foundation on which this organization's built. You're the one that mentored us all. and it's been an evolution. And we hope to reach excellence, and I don't think that's ever going to happen because we're going to keep striving. Now, this really does give me great honor. It really does. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I think the world of him. When I say he's poised to take the leadership, I know he's poised to take the leadership. Chief Joseph Scramese. Scott.
I had some notes written down here, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to them or not. I want to start off by thanking everybody down here for coming. I can't imagine what this would have looked like in our training room that holds 50 people, but I'm glad we moved that. Captain Murray, thanks for putting all this together. Outstanding job. I'd like to thank the FOP for volunteering this. Beautiful building, the food that you're going to have after this, and refreshments as compliments of the Fraternal Order of Police, and I truly appreciate that. I want to thank everybody for all their support that I've received in the past few weeks, from Joshua to the mayor, city council, the law enforcement community at large, and the people at the Hamilton Police Department have been phenomenal. Chief Ertleman, thanks for everything. He's passed on all his files and really helped me. I was just totally covered up the first few weeks. I just couldn't imagine how much paperwork came through there, and him setting me up has really helped out a lot. I look around the room, and there's a couple people in here that can verify this story. I knew I was going to be a police officer when I was 8 years old, and there's a guy standing in the back of the room, Ed Shelton, that was around long enough that he knows that that's true, because I used to love to sit in his living room, and I'd make him tell me stories. And he told me stories about he and Wayne Moore flying up High Street in a shootout and shooting the windows out of Thompson Cadillac on High Street for a bank robber, and I knew what I wanted to do my whole life. Getting here, I never thought I'd be standing up here as chief of police, because I truly did love what I was doing. I loved the guys that are here on the SWAT team. I think that's going to be my hardest thing to step away from. I love you guys, and I mean, we've had a hell of a run for 26 years. I've always been impressed at the caliber of people that we have. When I came on, I was on SWAT started 26 years ago. I've been on the department 29 years, but when I looked around and saw guys like Ron Franks and Ron Ledford and Rick Harbreck and those guys on the team, I thought, we're a small department, but we've got outstanding people, and it just continues to get better and better. The guys it's just phenomenal to me for a small department how we have such great people. Most importantly, I want to thank my family. My mom is my biggest fan out there, and if I think Ed Richter found that out at the Journal, but when they print articles that aren't accurate. She actually convinced me to take my first test, because I truly did not want to take a promotional test. When I was a patrolman, I'm looking straight back at my partner Dave Alatorre back there. We worked the bowl together, and I didn't want to get promoted. I went to directed patrol, and I was having a blast, and she said, you have to take a promotional test. Well, I didn't take it the first time. And after the 6th year, when I got my next opportunity to take it, I did take the test. But I just loved what I was doing. I've loved every bit of this job. Every position that I've had, I've truly enjoyed. Ed, I know there's probably somebody looking down with a cigar in his mouth and a smile on his face right now. I wish he was here, but I'm sure he is in spirit. My uncles are here. My Uncle Dominic. Everybody knows Dahmer and Shirley that have done any catering in the last 30 years in Hamilton. My Uncle Jim, my Uncle Marvin Wilhelm, my aunt and Uncle Sandy and Chuck Ramage, my mother-in-law Dorothy Hartwood. I know I'm probably forgetting somebody with these lights. My cousins are here, Jody and Christian. I really appreciate that. My wife, Ann, she keeps me focused and grounded in a number of different ways. She hasn't seen me much in the past few weeks, and like Joey said, when you study for the test, and you devote 8 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week studying, somebody has to take care of the rest of the family, and she's done that. Then you finish studying, you've got all kinds of free time until you get promoted to police chief. And then you're gone again. So I haven't had a day off since the 10th, but it's very rewarding. John and Kate, I feel sorry for you. You're for having to put up with me, and Craig and Wade, I'm telling you, this guy, if you need any assistance on a SWAT call out, call him, because I'd get these calls in the middle of the night or whenever, and he'd say, well, you guys, do containment, set your containment up, and when you get that, you're going to talk to him for a few minutes, and before you put gas in, I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me, man. I mean, he listens to everything that takes place, and I truly do think he could handle an incident. As for the department, we've got an outstanding department. We'll work together in the tough times that we're about to go through or that we've been going through to provide the citizens with the best possible service we possibly can. And I know with the help of the employees here at HPD that we'll continue to keep this the finest police department in the nation. I'm truly excited to take on this role. I'm eager and dedicated and I'm committed to you, and I'll do my best as the police chief of the city of Hamilton. And I thank you.
Speaking for the 5 that were promoted, the 2 that were retired, and our entire organization, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. Have a good day.
Beautiful girls. It was very nice meeting you. Nice meeting you too.